Hey, what's up guys? So we're making this glass shader in Blender. So this is a 2D glass shader and this is the setup. This may look complex but we'll make it simple. So let's get to our default Blender file. I've modded the layout to be more suitable with node editing. And we have this thing, and ignore everything else in there. We have this basic glass thing. We'll make a new material. Let's name this glass, and we'll also give this Gaia material the same material as well, so we have like a preview of like on a different shape. And now if we select this, we'll have a basic principle BSDF, so we're gonna delete that because we don't need it. And first thing we're gonna do is we'll get some reflections on it. So to get reflections, either we can use a glossy shader and with the lights and stuff we can get the reflections that way, or we can just use our texture coordinate, which I like to prefer. Okay, so we'll go to this reflection tab thing, and this is reflection node, and we'll have something like this rainbow thing is. So we don't want that, we just want a simple reflection, so we'll just turn this into a black and white map, which will give us something like this. And to make it 2D, we don't want these gradients or anything on this, so we'll just make it constant, make this color ramp constant, and if we drag this back we will start getting a reflection. Yeah, this is the first step, and the second step is going to be getting some glow on the outer layer of this. So to do that, that is also a very simple thing. We can just duplicate this thing, plug the reflection in there, and if we set this to ease, we'll have a glow on the outer layer. But we don't want it to be this soft, so maybe we can make this a bit gray, because we want this to be a less transparent thing than our main reflection. And now to combine them, if you have node wrangler enabled, you can just press Ctrl Shift and right click drag, and you'll have this mix shader in there. And to make it a bit more nice, we can just set the blending mode to add and set the factor to 1, and you're getting this bloom because I have the bloom enabled, but you know. Okay, now we have the reflection, but we can add one more small thing. So if we can make this like we can make it like as the reflection goes to the bottom of the glass, if we can make it fade out as it goes down, that'll be great. And doing that is also very simple. You need the text generated coordinate from the texture coordinate, and we'll separate the x, y and z from this. Separate x, y, what the hell, yeah, separate x, y and z. And now if we preview this generated coordinate, we'll see that there are 3 different colors: pink, blue, and this greenish color, or this is yellowish but it turns green. So these are these colors represent different axes, and we want just the z axis in this, because this goes from bottom to top and that's what we want. So we can just get the z axis and have it like that. And now the only thing we need to do is we have to restrict this thing. We want to use this as a mask, so the easy way to do is that we can just mix these two like this and set the blending mode to multiply. And now if we look at that, we want to set this to full as well. There is a reflection, but it's I'm sorry, I'm plugging the X in there like this. Okay, now we can see there's a reflection in there, but it's not too strong, so we can just use a color ramp to make it a bit more strong. And something like this, set this to ease to make the gradient a bit smooth. You can see the difference right here, like this and like that. Yeah, okay, so we have the basic thing that we want. And okay, I want to do one more thing. Let's just restrict to this to here, so we can have a glow a bit more apparent, something like this, and you'll have a nice gradient on the top as well. Okay, first step is done, and let's just make this into a frame so that we can identify this when we open this later. So we can select all of these nodes and press Ctrl J to frame them, and let's move it aside. We can label them as well, but let's not do that in the video because it gets tedious. And now what we want is we want a bit of a gradient that goes from the top to bottom, and it's a bit of different color, you know, to accentuate the form of the glass. So we can use the genetic coordinate again, and you guessed it, we'll use the x z coordinate. But this time we want it to be flipped because we want the gradient to go from bottom to top instead of from top to bottom. So to flip that, we can use invert color, or we can use the color ramp, which gives us a bit more control. And there we go, and set this to ease, something like this, and we'll make this a bit gray as well. So gray is related to the transparency of the color in the final shader, which we'll make a bit later. And let's mix these two together as well, and we're gonna set this to add, like we did before, add and factor to 1. And now we have something like this. And the last touch we're gonna add is, let's frame this as well, just to be consistent with everything else. We want to add an outer glow on this. So a simple node for this is Fresnel or Fresnel, I don't know, this node. And if we set the QR to a bit lower value, we can get a bit of a let's not set this to let's use color ramp instead of doing it from the IOR thing, because it's not that controllable. We want something like this. Set this to ease one more time. Yeah, okay. Now we have these things. Let's frame this as well, and let's combine this too. So set this to add once more. I think they should, okay, it's not good idea to make it default, but let's set the factor to 1. Okay, now we have a nice glass shader, but you can see that it's not transparent, it's just a black color. This is because of two things. First of all, we'll have to define a transparency shader in there. There's no shader there, these are just colors. So we can just use this transparency shader and an emission shader. Let's combine them, and we can use this thing right here as a mask for these two shaders. So wherever there is white, there's going to be emission. Wherever there's black, there's going to be, you guessed it, this thing, transparent. So let's plug it in, and okay, let's preview that. And okay, it's still black, a bit weird. So maybe let's try switching this. Oh yeah, okay, so we want this to be back the way it was. There's a shortcut to switch these like automatically, but I don't know how. So the reason we are not seeing any transparency is because the setting alpha blend mode is opaque. So we just want to set this to this thing, and set the backface culling to none, or maybe set this to okay and set this to none. And now we have our glass shader, so it looks 2D and stuff. So a simple way to add color would be to just give this emission a color. Maybe set this to blue, and you'll have a blue glass. Okay, the simple way to do is we can just add the color ramp in front of each of these elements. So by elements I mean reflection, this Z gradient, and this Fresnel. So that's a simple way to do. Okay, first of all, let's make this a colorful thing. So let's make this a darkish blue color, something like this. Now if we preview the final shader and we set this to white, back to white, and we should see some color in there, but we are not seeing it because we have not plugged the color in the emission shader. So basically the emission shader tells us what the color of the thing is going to be. At the moment this is white, we can plug this into here, and then we'll start seeing the color that we added in this place. Now we can adjust the color and make it nice blue, and let's bring this back a bit too. We have this, let's change this color as well. Set this to a very nice bluish color, and and we're gonna make this a bit strong, so let's do that. And now we have something nice, and we can be a bit more fancy and maybe change this color as well. Let's make it blue. Don't make it blue, just make it something like this. See, okay, now it's working nice. And that's why we made this. And in the next video we're going to make a golden coin thing. So subscribe for that, and thank you for watching if you watched it for this long. And I'm definitely planning to make a lot more videos on 2D stuff, mainly in Photoshop and stuff like that. So yeah, okay, I'm just gonna exit out.